Richard here from Airsoft. We're going to be testing this Token Marine Mark 18. So this one has come in for some feeding issues on a custom mag, and so we're just going to be demonstrating it obviously on the standard mag as well as that one, just to sort of make sure that we've double checked any feeding issues. I mean, we essentially just tightened up the mag release and it seems to have resolved any issues. We've also put the Laylax Castle Nut on here at the customer's request, and we've also put the Laylax Sling point on there. And otherwise, there's some comments about obviously the lower receiver and upper receiver. I mean, they're in pristine order, so we don't want to go down the route of obviously the cost of replacing those when there's no need to. But yeah, it's just custom sort of gun tech notes for the servicing that we've done. We're just all high, good results, clean inside. So yeah, it's hopefully we can just get this back to you and get you back out there enjoying it, Right. Functionality is great on the standard mag. Yeah, I mean, this obviously, basically, as soon as the charge runs out, I'm getting feeding issues. If I leave it continuously charging, it's absolutely fine. The problem is obviously if high caps, which are notorious, the problem with obviously high caps is they don't put enough pressure on the actual inside of the guns it's feeding, then obviously it's just not pushing the BBs through in the correct order. So it needs to properly feed and continuously feed, and obviously mid caps, famously do that really well, which is why a lot of people switch over to mid caps for the consistency of feeding that high caps never offer. Obviously this being a box drum mag, essentially, just from my testing now, just seems to indicate that you need the actual switch on. Just it's kind of clicking away. I mean, you get a few shots, if you know what I mean, on that initial wind, but obviously if you continuously keep on firing, you're gonna have to pop that switch on, if you know what I mean, to be able to keep up with it. But I imagine obviously if you're making the sacrifice of obviously having a big drum mag attached, you're planning on firing probably a lot of shots, in which case in order to keep up with that lot of shots, yeah, you'll have to flick that switch on. So all right, well, hopefully that helps you in sort of figuring out obviously what your issues you were having, if you don't mean, with this particular drum mag. It start feeding after a little while there. It starts misfeeding just because obviously the wines run out. So all the issues happen from this not being wound properly. So I mean, obviously you know, if you think that's a problem with the actual product itself, then obviously I would go back to the original manufacturer on that one. But you know, obviously we're not going to sit here try and diagnose somebody's product, if you know what I mean. You know, that's you know, putting the pressure on there, if you know what I mean. You know, just from testing fixes it. So that's what you do to get it working, in theory. Cool, right, like I said, that's all tested now. Gun's working fine. And obviously the main thing is obviously making sure the guns work fine on mid caps, because obviously that's the one you want to use as a testing. Obviously it's the reason we have this as a test mag, you know, for testing guns, to make sure that they are working flawless, to take, you know, Weird and Wonderful magazines out of the equation, to make sure that it's working. Then obviously if it doesn't work on Weird and Wonderful magazines, then it's the weird magazines that's the problem. Obviously, you know, in testing this one, with it wound on full wind, obviously with that on, it works flawlessly. With it not off, then there's a potential for either a double feed or no feeding, which is just something to bear in mind, if you know what I mean. But yeah, cool, right, thank you very much.